Welcome to Queen's Quest, the show for anyone who's tired of waiting for things to happen and who's ready to start making them happen. Every week, we'll discuss actionable strategies to unlock your full potential and turn your ambitions into achievement, all with a spiritual foundation. The goal is to ignite the fire inside of you, to increase the passion for the journey you're on, and to breathe new life into what feels stuck. We're going to close the gap between where you are and where you would like to be. I am your host, the Queen of Landry, and your future starts now. Today on Queen's Quest, we're talking about something that does not get enough space, but it impacts every single one of us: grief. Not just grief from death, but grief from loss in all of its forms. And also, how do we move forward without losing ourselves? In this episode, you will get nothing but transparency, evidence, and authenticity from me. In full transparency, I lost my grandmother. I call her Gigi. My children call her Gigi. We lost her August 2025. I was her cupcake and she was my baby. I have never felt pain like that before. I had to seek counseling, and to be all the way honest, I probably should start going back. But that loss was so traumatic for me. In my adult life, I had never experienced a loss like that. So it was very traumatic, and it hit different. Yeah, let's say that. So I was hesitant to talk about grief. However, this was a topic one of the listeners had asked about earlier this year when I was requesting for topics and things of that nature. One lady did ask if I could talk about grief. And grief has struck my family again, as my sister-in-law that was 46 years young has recently passed. So I thought I should discuss it. Like, it's coming up, it's happened to me, in August, and then again now in March. And so I know that people deal with this. And again, it's more than just death that grief occurs, but we don't talk about it enough. I'm putting on my big girl panties, as they say, and I'm discussing a difficult topic for me. I'm going to list 5 stages of grief. Know that you move and go back and forth with these stages. You may skip some stages, or you may experience several stages all at one time. That's just how grief works. Stage 1 of grief is denial. And that's like shock, numbness, or disbelief. I can say this happened to me in the passing of both of my grandfathers. The passing of my pawpaw on my mom's side, I was numb because he had lung cancer for like 16 years, right? Then my grandpa on my dad's side had lung cancer for like 6 months. And so I was in disbelief because I just knew that he was going to live longer with his cancer like my papa did. So this was denial, but it looked different in 2 different situations, right? In 2 passings. Granted, I was younger at the time, but just know that denial looks different. Another thing of denial is like, this can't be happening. Oftentimes, denial is God's way of buffering us until we're ready to process it, right? And our mind is so powerful. Like, when we like, this cannot happen, we're not dealing with it. We're in denial of it, but that's okay because that is one of the stages, right? Denial doesn't mean that you lack faith. It means your heart is protecting itself. So again, denial is okay. It is one of the stages, and we have to go through it and then acknowledge it. I'm in denial. I'm not okay, right? The second stage is anger, frustration, resentment, irritability. Normally, this is towards the people that are closest to us. We're bleeding on those who didn't cut us. We're bleeding on those that had nothing to do with the grief, but because they are so closest to us, that stage, it comes out on them. So if you're someone that is close to or that's going through grief with someone, give them grace. Okay? Give them grace. It's not you, truthfully, but they're going through an anger stage. Also, you can be angry toward the people, situations, or even God. Like my husband, he's lost a child prior to our relationship, and it was a young child, right? He's even said that at that time that he was angry with God because, like, he's a child. A child hasn't done anything, and so why would you take a child's life? So that's another part of this stage of anger, being angry towards God. And that's okay. God is not offended by your anger. He invites honesty, not performance. So if you try to say, oh, I'm okay, I'm good, and you're not angry at him for doing such a thing. He knows anyway. So really you're just lying to yourself. But anger, it's a stage. The third stage is bargaining. If I only had stayed longer, or should I have not moved out? You know, the shoulda, coulda, woulda syndrome. We all have been there. And again, in our mind, we're thinking, what could we have done different? Or we try to regain control or make deals with God. Like Jesus, if you bring them back, then I will go to church every Sunday. That's just us missing our loved ones so much that we're trying to bargain with God. And if there's their time, then it's just their time. Doesn't mean that it's going to be any easier, but we're trying to bargaining to like, hey, I love someone that much, right? That I want them back. And I heard this quote. It said, grief is love with nowhere to go. And so if it's nowhere to go, we're trying to figure out how can we get it back? Really, that's it. Like, how can we get this love back and remove this grief? Stage 4 is depression. Now, this is deep sadness, fatigue, withdrawal. I mean, a lot of people stop here and never move. This is a scary place to live. I've been there, I've done that. I'm praying that I never live there again. But when my grandmother passed, I could tell I was moving differently. I can tell that I didn't want to deal with a lot of things in life that I normally would deal with. I didn't want to lead the way I used to in all of the areas and arenas that I did before. So I was withdrawn, right? Like, let somebody else deal with that. Let me come in real quick, leave real early because I don't want to deal with it. I did recognize it because I have experienced depression before. And so that's why I knew I had to get help, right? I know that this is not a normal thing. Well, let me take that back. The process of depression, it most definitely is normal. However, how long am I staying here? That's the part that I started getting concerned about. Yeah, I was staying there too long. Instead of depression being a pit stop for me, it was a place to stay, right? I don't want to live there. I don't want to unpack my things and put them in the dresser drawers, right? So that's why I said that it can be a scary place. I've been there and I never want to live there again, right? Because the weight of reality settling in and it's uncomfortable. It really is. So feeling low doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. I know when I went to counseling, I was like, I am not okay. I am not okay. And she looked at me and said, why are you not okay? And I'm like, I'm not the same. I'm depressed. I feel like because I'm withdrawn from situations. I'm always sad. I'm always snapping on my family at home, my kids, my husband. And she said, no, you're okay. You're grieving. That was like a light bulb moment. So depression is a stage. Just don't live there. Stage 5 is acceptance, acknowledging the loss without being consumed by it, living life understanding that it will never be the same. However, you still have to live, not being okay, but learning how to live again. Understand that the loss does not define you. Yes, it hurts. Yes, you feel pain. Yes, you feel remorse. Yes, all of those things happen, but there's much more to you. There's much more of life in you. There's much more purpose left in you. God has more for you. Again, accepting it, it happened to me. It really did. Accepting doesn't close the chapter, it teaches you how to write the next chapter. So basically, I accepted the person is no longer here. I accept that the situation has happened. I accept that. I do have to understand that it doesn't define me, meaning that I can still live. That's all. Accept that it happened and still push through to live, to fight another day, to live, to show up for your people, to live, to get up and go to work, to live, to still give back to your community, to live, to still be there for your other children and your grandchildren, to live, to smile, to laugh. Acceptance, ladies. Now, understand that there are different ways that we can grieve. And I say that in the opening because people don't realize that they are grieving because they're thinking it's a person. Girlfriends, I want you to understand we grieve more than death, right? We can grieve the loss of a relationship, a divorce, a breakup from a significant other. We grieve that. If you're having an estranged relationship from a family member, like a mother daughter relationship or a sister brother relationship, especially if you were close at some point and then it's changed for whatever reason, that's a loss. Or if a relationship is something you yearn for but you never received, that's a loss, right? Why she don't like me like she like the other kids, or why she's not as close to me as she is to our other siblings. Like that's still a loss because it's something that you yearn for and you couldn't have, or you see it and you want it, you was close enough and it almost happened. That's still a loss. A friendship that ended without closure. Yeah, we don't talk about that. Sometimes we'll say, like, okay, if it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. But a loss is something that's no longer there that you loved. A friendship that you loved is no longer there. You're grieving it. Identity loss is another one. You're losing a version of yourself. This is real and it happens subconsciously when you become a mother. For me, when I became a first time mother, subconsciously, I lost a version of myself, right? It wasn't intentional. I didn't want to lose a version of myself, but I had someone else to live for, to protect, to provide. And so Queena became third, fourth down the list, losing a version of yourself. Again, having children, that's a blessing, right? That's a gift. We cherish that. But unintentionally, sometimes we can lose a version of ourselves. That's a loss. And we can become resentful. If you don't be careful, you can be resentful. I'm just telling you from experience. An unexpected career change or job loss, like you thought this job was meant for you or you were meant for the job, and then bam, they lay you off. Last one in, first one out. This has happened to me before. I'm like, oh my God, this is the perfect job for me. I'm learning something new. And yeah, short term. But what's for me is for me. But I still had to agree that because I'm like, I had the perfect schedule and, all of the things. That was a loss. Becoming a caregiver or a single parent, when you're giving yourself to others, it's another level of responsibility. It's a change. You have to make an adjustment, and that could be losing a part of you, losing some of your time, right? Losing some of your resources, right? It's a change. And we have to acknowledge that, guess what? This could be a loss. But as we have levels, then we're grieving the past level because it's something we liked, we loved, we held on to. Guess what? It's no longer there. That's grief. A big one is dreams and expectation loss. Oh, you may have a dream and you tried it and it failed. And you're thinking, like, I can't go through a loss like that again. But I do know for sure all of the successful people that we see and we are jealous of or envy of or want to be like, they have failed more times than they have succeeded. But for us, we failed, we got knocked down, the dream didn't happen like I dreamt it, right? Then that's a loss. Grieve that thing. It happened, right? Just don't stay there. It's okay to be like, oh, I thought I had it together. I had the strategy all down. I had it all blueprinted out and it was supposed to work like this, that, and the third. And it didn't. And sometimes we get stuck, get back up again. A delayed promise. I know I'm most definitely guilty of this, like a lot of us. God, you said if I serve you, I can have the desires of my heart. I don't have all of the desires of my heart yet. Everything is in God's timing. That's what I have to remind myself. So I have to remind you that everything is in God's timing. Know that whatever He has for you is for you, because His plans is always to prosper and never harm us. So if my promises are delayed, it's some reason why. I don't know why, God, but you know. So when I get into my mind and I'm like, oh my God, I'm serving you, faithfully serving you, unapologetically serving you, cheerfully giving all of the things. And it's like everything that I wanted and desired having been checked off. What's the problem? He said, my plans are to prosper you and never to harm you. Do you trust him? And so just trusting that everything is going to work out for my good. Also, I thought my life would look different by now. We talked about in our last series becoming her. I feel like in your 30s, 40s, 50s, this conversation plays in your mind. If not, you have it with your girlfriends. Yeah, I thought my life would be different by now. And so that's like grieving something that we never had, right? Like, oh, I thought I would be living here or driving this car or having this type of family or these many children or these many grandchildren, even. Or my job title would be different, or I will be in this industry by now, or all of the things. We're grieving something we never had, and it happens, right? Grief. Yeah, right? And our minds will go there with us. Recognize it, lean into it, and then keep it moving. Live. Another big one is health and physical loss, a chronic illness. Your life is changing based on how your daily routine looks, and you can become resentful of the old, healthier you, right? Like, dang, when I could do this. I used to could do that. I could, you know, all of the things dropping like it's hot. I had those good knees, right? You start getting resentful, like, why am I not as healthy as I was? Or what did I do wrong? Or why me? We start thinking those things. That's grief. Understand it, recognize what it is, lean into it, and then keep living, keep pushing. Infertility issues. Now, here lately, and I don't know, maybe the past few years, a lot of people, celebrities, people you may even know, are coming out and sharing their stories about infertility, whether it was successful or not. But if you think of the unsuccessful stories, I am sure they had the anger. And I'm sure they tried to bargain with God and it just wasn't for them. Oh, that's grief. That's a loss, right? If you tried and it was unsuccessful. And maybe the people around you have tried and succeeded naturally, or they tried and succeeded with infertility treatment and it wasn't for you, right? That's a loss. It's another form. Loss of mobility or independence. Depending on someone else could feel like you are going backwards in life, or you may feel needy. I could see denial and depression creeping in. Like, I got this, I don't need help, right? And that's denial. Depression, start being just at home. If I need help with it, then I'll scale back. I won't go to the places. I'm not going to church if somebody has to pick me up and drop me off. I can see that creeping in when you don't have the mobility and the movement and can drive like you used to and all of the things. That's a loss. Oh, a spiritual loss. Feeling distance from God. One, we can start questioning God's motives for you. Like, when is my plans going to prosper? Or we question, when are you going to show up for me? When are you going to heal me? When are you going to heal the people around me? And really, He's never left us. Really, He only wants what's best for us. Really, He's protecting us. Really, He's providing for us. We don't know all of those things, but yeah, feeling a little distant when things doesn't happen when we want to happen or when we think it should happen. But guess what? He's always there. Don't give up. Keep the faith. Loss of certainty in belief. Like now with everything that's going on, I can see some believers' faith wavering. Just know that God is a man and He does not lie. He will provide, He will protect, He will deliver. He still deserves all of our praise. I talked about this on Wednesday at church. When we care and we're concerned and we're fearful about what's going on in the White House, and we need to step back and say, well, what's going on in my house? And so do that. Don't lose where your focus should be. It should be on Him, trusting and believing Him. But when you feel a loss and everything that's going on, yeah, you grieving like, okay, when it was a more stable time, right? Keep the faith, keep believing, keep living, okay? Now, how we're going to process grief and not suppress it, let's get some few tools. Name the loss. Be specific about what you lost. I lost my job. I lost my independence. I lost my loved one, right? Call it out. It's something about speaking it into the atmosphere. It's not saying that it's going to change the situation, but it no longer is stuck in your mind and you feeling like isolated, right? Undefined pain becomes prolonged pain. It's going to happen. So lean into it when it comes. Do not suppress it. I know it's hard to do, especially if you're a leader, especially if you feel like I'm the strong one all the time. Been there, done that. No, I hurt. I am not okay. I do not feel well. Say it out loud. If you're bleeding on those who's closest to you, communicate to those who's closest to you, right? I need you guys to do this. Write it down in your journals. Get your journals if you haven't, because I want you guys to be better because grief is real. And it happens like all of the situations and scenarios that I talked about. It happens. It's real life. If you sit and think, you're like, oh, dang, I did grieve that. I went through that emotion. I was upset. I was in denial. Whatever it was, you grieve that. And that's okay. Let's just recognize it. Don't let it hold you hostage anymore. So write this down. Today, I am grieving blank because it meant blank to me. So for me, today I'm grieving my Gigi because she meant strength and she meant faith to me. When I see her and I think about her and I miss her faith. And I tell you, she had some unwavering faith like that lady. I miss that, right? Two, feel without judgment. Don't rush healing to make others comfortable because you'll only end up hurting yourself because then you're suppressing it. You start lying about it. Oh, I'm good when you're not. And then they'll take the fake you or the representation of you at that time is okay, that's how she's moving now. Because when grief happens, we become a different version of ourselves, right? And that's okay because a loss is something that you may have to pivot in. It's going to hit different depending on what the loss is and how impactful it is on your life. Again, nobody can tell you that but you, but be honest with yourself. Yeah. Your emotions are indicators, not enemies, okay? Ladies, recognize them and deal with them. We always say, like, oh, ladies, y'all so emotional. They're indicators for us, right? Let me recognize I'm not doing well today. Let me lean into that. I can't do the cooking and deal with the kids and the cleaning today. Yeah, my emotions is all over the place. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling overwhelmed. Remember, faith doesn't erase feelings, it gives them somewhere to land. So, God, I'm not feeling good today. God, I need you to take this, right? Communication, not just with the ones that are there and you can physically touch, but commune with the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit so He can strengthen you and get you in a better place. So we're going to go through it. We're not going to stay there though. Number three, express it. We're going to be in prayer about it. I mean, ugly crying praying, right? We don't even know what the words to say, but we're just giving it to Him. All the emotions and feelings and the different stages, we're talking to Him in every stage, journaling about it, seeking therapy through it. Talking it out instead of internalizing it because depression grows in isolation. And that is so serious. I need you women to say this after me. I can be strong and grieving at the same time, and that's okay. I don't want anybody to be in isolation or in jail when our thoughts. I can be strong and grieving at the same time, and that's okay. Number four, release the timeline. Healing has no deadline. Different people have been told different timelines. And when they come to me, like, yeah, I was told I have within 1 to 3 years, I should be, what? That's crazy. It has no timeline. 1 year, 10 years, infinity. It has no timeline. What you can do, give yourself grace, give others grace, and support as much as possible. Prayer often, judge not, right? That's what we're going to do. 5, invite God into the pain. Not just into the victory, but into the questions, into the uncertainties. Grief is biblical. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. That's Matthew 5:4. I said that so many times when my grandma passed. I don't want people to think that, oh, I'm so strong. I'm a Christian. I shouldn't be grieving. I'm a Christian. I shouldn't have questions. I shouldn't feel denial. I shouldn't be depressed. No. Okay, I don't know where y'all got that from, but here at Queen's Quest Podcast, grief is biblical and it's okay to mourn. Right? Grief is a core Christian promise that God brings healing, hope, and presence to those experiencing grief, pain, or sorrow. God promises that He's going to bring you hope. He's going to bring you healing. He's going to come and be present with those who are grieving and in pain and in sorrow. God does His deepest work in the broken places if we only allow Him to. Number 6, reimagine life with the loss. Not why did this happen, but who am I becoming through this, right? From my perspective, grief doesn't disqualify your purpose, it refines it. So, like, I'm running full force to ensure that my Gigi's legacy is living on through this book, but not just so much because I want, just to say I wrote a book and it was with her, but because she wanted to be an author. And I'm going to make sure that happens because grief, it doesn't disqualify my purpose. It refines it, right? Like it was different for why I wanted to do the book. Now this is her book. So grief redefines it. If just allow it, lean into it. Girlfriend, grief changes us, but it doesn't have to destroy us. What you lost mattered. What you're feeling is valid. And who you are becoming on the other side of this pain is still unfolding. So you are not behind. You are becoming. I truly hope this episode blessed you as much as it did me. Share this with someone that this could be helpful for. They may be grieving a loss of any kind. Share this with them. Tag them in it. Also, subscribe, rate, and leave a review so more women can find the show. I am your host, the Queen of Landry, sending you peace, love, and favor. Time to